All right, now we are going to jump into the budget tabs on the wedding planning template. And whether you are someone who loves numbers and budgeting or you hate talking about numbers and budgeting, these tabs are a great way to be on the same page with your partner and make sure you're staying on track when it comes to the financial side of planning your wedding. The first tab we're going to talk about is the budget, vision, and priorities tab. This helps you set your overall budget, vision, and priorities for your wedding. So the first section here is the finances section, and you can change all of these amounts here very easily for where different contributions are coming from your wedding. And it will total up all of these columns into your total budget. This number here is pretty important because this is the total budget number that you will see across the wedding template. The vision section goes through some of the key elements of your wedding day and some questions to think about: what you want the vibe to be, how you want your wedding to feel, how you want to feel, how you want your guests to feel, and all of those sorts of things. So feel free to sit down with your partner and talk about these things and type in your answers in the box. In the priority section, you can talk with your partner about what is most important to each of you on your wedding day. Maybe one of you wants to have a great venue and the other one wants to have really great music and entertainment for your guests. You can each put in your top priorities and decide which 3 overall you want to prioritize the most. The budget creator tab is going to take your total budget and divvy that out into amounts for each major expense category of your wedding. So these are the typical major expense categories here, the average ranges that people tend to spend on those categories. And you can go ahead and pick what percent you want to spend on your wedding. So these percentage numbers here, you can edit to your heart's desire. You just want to make sure that this always equals 100%, which right now it does not. If it doesn't equal 100%, then it's going to be a different budget amount. One thing that we want you to remember when planning a wedding is that a budget is a living, breathing aspect of your wedding, and what you think is your priority in the beginning might end up changing as time goes on, and that is okay and completely normal. There's also a small section here at the bottom to consider some additional expenses when allocating your budget for things like your honeymoon or other events throughout your wedding weekend. The budget and expense tracker tab is going to keep track of all of your expenses throughout the wedding process, what you've paid, what is due, and any tips as well. So all of this data here at the top in this section, you do not need to fill anything in. This just gives you an overview of what your budget is and what you've spent so far, and if you are over that or under your budget. So using an example here for your reception venue, you have budgeted $16,800 for that. It's not $168,000. So let's say you find a venue that you fall in love with and it's only $15,000 for your desired date. That's great news. If you've made a payment to secure that venue, you're going to want to type that in for your first payment. These first payment, second payment, and third payment tabs, only type in what you've actually paid so far, because that's going to give you a paid to date number and show you what you owe going forward. All of the data in these sections then flows up to these 4 boxes right here. So you can see overall where you're at with actual spend, your remaining budget, how many payments you've made to date, and how much you are still going to owe. There are quite a few categories in this bottom section, so don't forget that you can use the minus sign to collapse those and make it easier to navigate if you want to. And those are the budget tabs.